So the architect was a homosexual.
Ladies, gentlemen, and any other gender-specific pronouns, this is Two in the Bush, your weekly update for things that aren't birds, bushes, or numbers, I suppose. I am that one of the... I'm just the weird one who can't structure his sentences properly, Sean Howe. And now I'm joined, as ever, by Timothy Broad.
Hello.
Think of a witty nickname for yourself in 5 seconds. Go.
I was just more thinking that it's a very soggy edition of this show.
Very soggy. The soggy warrior, Timothy Broad.
Well, no. According to Microsoft Weather, it's mostly sunny.
It's not.
It hasn't been sunny this entire day. In fact, it's been torrential rain.
I mean, thank you for explaining it, because I feel like you realise halfway through this is an audio feature.
Yeah, so I explained it. I described it.
You're good at this. You're probably better than I am, but I'm the host because it's my podcast.
Well,
don't try and take out my authority.
I mean, or I'll just like to say that my strong belief that the Microsoft Weather is, they don't have satellites or fancy technology. They just have a man who's near a window, sticking his head out and putting his hand out as well, and licking his finger to see which is the wind direction and if it's sunny or not.
What roughly the speed is.
And the speed.
I mean, I wasn't expecting you to go off on a rant about Microsoft Weather, but sure.
But that's my
while we're here, I might as well compare to Apple Weather on my shitty iPhone 4.
Hey, look, we're continuing the British stereotype of complaining about the weather and the weather forecast.
Why not? I mean, it's a good way to start.
Very original, right?
Yeah. It's not as if this isn't going on outside every water cooler in every office in the world.
I'm currently sipping a cup of tea.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm lying.
Why are you lying?
I'm having a very... Sean here just had a very American Coca-Cola.
Why is this you're explaining everything around you? It's like, have you had too much sugar?
Look, I think this is an audio-based thing, and our audience needs to be immersed into this very messy room I have.
All right, so if we're going on that front, by the way, my weather thing's fine. There's several boxes on the floor, some cushions, it's the TV on blue screen, a packet for a lava lamp.
Oh, something I need to also establish is we have, in a classic studio, they have the very fancy light that says, I say arguably fancy, it just says recording.
Like all good studios, all professional studios.
On my door, on the other side, on the outside door, on the outside side of the face of the door, yes, that was a fumble. There is
it's a door.
There is a postcard-sized piece of paper with recording written on it that's been wedged into the door
with a dart.
With a dart. So that is the quality.
If you're listening to this on SoundCloud and go to our page, we're going to make that the cover photo.
We'll make that the cover photo
because it sums us up rather well.
It shows the beginnings and origins, and I'm sure most of our progression.
Yeah.
It won't go beyond that, but. Anyway,
tell you what, I think first impressions is going well because we're rambling nonsensically, and that's good. It's good because that's what we do.
Now you're breaking the fourth wall and realising that you were in a podcast. You're meant to be completely self-aware. This is meant to be. Sorry,
is that how podcasts work?
I guess. I mean,
that's quite a dilemma actually. Do you acknowledge that you're in a podcast, or do you just go along like it's just a chat?
You see, now you've gone into the fourth level, being self-aware.
No.
Shut up.
You want me to?
This is your show.
It's my.
It's
our show. It's our show. Really.
But you wrote it and came up with the name.
Writing it. I just came up with a name and thought, hey, let's do this.
Completely not hinting at our fumble of the first attempt of this.
Oh yeah.
What does the name "Two in the Bush" come from?
Well, it comes from a certain phrase, and I'm not entirely sure where the phrase comes from. But it refers to having one in the hand is equal to two in the bush. I believe it is referring to birds.
Not mixing up with the phrase killing two birds with one stone.
No, it's not. We wouldn't call the podcast One Stone, would we?
We call it One Stoner. That would be very entertaining.
You probably get a lot of subscriptions from a very certain audience. Please do not be offended if anybody in
if
the
you are
viewership
struggling
does.
if you are struggling from
cannabis.
it, if you are smoking, if you're struggling with a drug addiction, sorry, go get professional help.
And if you
we will leave a list of numbers for professional help in the description.
and if you do have any cannabis on you, which you intend to smoke, just remember this: get some Pringles. It really helps. Now,
I only like one flavour of Pringles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sour cream and onion.
So you're very picky with your
I
Pringles.
dislike the other ones because I always find like you either have one that has no like seasoning, or you have ones that just have everything on it.
Again, you're going off you went on Microsoft Weather,
Yeah.
Pringles.
Yes.
I mean, this is. I forgot the word. Tantalising stuff.
Textbook.
Textbook.
Thank you. See, I mean, filling your own words.
Yeah,
Amazing.
We're that in sync.
What's it? Talking of like poor distribution of seasoning, I got a Domino's pizza the other day.
Oh,
And
this is just
with
story time with two.
no. They do like the deal where if you walk into the place where they obviously make you walk in, you get a very cheap medium pizza for $5.99.
They just get one out of the bin.
With one that
There's not enough mould on this pizza. It's not spread evenly.
One that fell off the back of the moped as it was pulling out.
and has been half eaten by a seagull.
Yes, well,
And the other half has been regurgitated by it.
it's a deal for $5.99 to be of that high quality.
Actually, no. Wouldn't it actually be that it didn't actually fall off the moped, but what happened is the guy on the way there crashed and died. It's like
So he's pissed up.
It's like. It's like they use his organs for organ donors, and then they just gave the pizza to the patient.
I'm all thinking that when it's you don't receive it in the nice box, you receive it in an evidence bag of the crash. Anyway, that's the size of the point.
You know it's bad when your delivery person is wearing latex gloves.
So
What was the point we were going?
oh, the point where I was going with this. So I was talking about the distribution of seasoning on said food items, and this item, as I said, was the Domino's pizza.
Yes,
and
not sponsored, by the way.
Not sponsored.
You can probably tell by the fact that we're saying that the pizza boy has died and is
Right. So honestly, they're pretty good with the delivery. So anyway, I decided normally, they give you an option of having two toppings. Now, normally I just go extra cheese.
right.
Because there's very little that a vegetarian can have that's actually nice.
Oh yes, he's vegetarian.
I mean,
feel free to judge him.
I think something that hopefully we can overlook that is the decision whether having pineapple on the pizza.
That's a rabbit hole I don't want to go down.
I am not strongly, but I am against the concept of pineapple on pizza.
You're pineapple out.
I'm pineapple
You're
out. I'm afraid.
Pexit.
So hence I'm Pexit. Hence why I normally just go for extra cheese on with
Cheese
I skip the other topping. On this occasion, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go for the seasoning and herbs and spices topping. And I received my pizza with the extra cheese and the toppings.
Okay.
With the seasoning toppings.
This is. I'm just really. You've set this up for quite a while, so it's got to have a good payoff.
So I'm walking home with my friend, not this one. Not this friend, Sean.
Not me, because I don't walk anywhere.
I'm Kieran.
I'm cripply disabled.
I have a look at my pizza because I can smell a fantastic
The aroma going up through your nostrils and into your.
And I open the box.
I'm going to stop.
And what I see is a pizza that was clearly made in a rush, because what they had done is
was the cheese and the herbs just not on the pizza?
No.
Was it on the box?
No.
Was it upside down?
I will say all the herbs and spices were on 2 slices of this pizza.
Well, so it's just basically 2 scoops.
It was
like
2
ice cream scoops.
The cheese was fine.
Okay, so you
the
have no
herbs and
problem with
spices
cheese.
was on 1/4 of this pizza. And we're not talking about, this is just, and it wasn't just a case of, there's more herbs. We're talking like, there was a visible, raised area of just herbs.
It's like a hill of a herb hill.
It was a hill of herbs.
Herby hill.
And it rather put me off the herbs.
Well, yeah, I understand.
Because herbs are meant to be a subtle just enhancement of the flavour. Where instead I just had cheese. Herbs! All the herbs!
All the basil and parsley you could want.
All the herbs. and it just put me right off. And so hence why I am very now, what's the word? Cautious when it comes to ordering anything with herbs or
Okay.
any other toppings that are not cheese. So
I have a couple of comments.
Go on.
First of all, I do perfectly understand your thing of distribution
Yeah.
pizzas, because I'm not a vegetarian, by the way.
Yeah.
And whenever I get a pizza that I have to cook myself,
Yeah.
I always want to put everything evenly.
Yes.
I don't have OCD or anything. I just like doing that.
Yes.
So, I understand that. But to move on to the second comment, how the fuck did we get here 10 minutes into the podcast?
Yes.
The whole thing, did I say earlier about first impressions?
Yes.
Now it's gone from, they kind of ramble a lot, to, okay, they've got a problem.
They have a problem.
We need to report them
We need to report them for
for over rambling.
overrambling. Well, anyway, I guess I think I'm going to now step back
Now, actually,
out the
Tim,
light.
we're going to, I'm going to try and salvage this somehow by trying to segue.
I don't think there's anything to be salvaged. I think we've been fine.
Oh,
Don't undermine our achievements.
okay. Achievement. You completely lost my train of thought. Yeah. You've been
Somewhat
having a bit of a
peaceful.
moan about food. Now we're going to transition to the segment which we're tentatively calling the bit where we attempt to be somewhat interesting, which at this point we probably desperately need.
Okay.
And now, Tim, you said to me before the podcast that you have something that you want to have a particular moan about, and it is to do with food.
Again, food. You see,
It's surprising that I'm the fat one out of
Yes,
the two of us, and
do you know
you're
what?
going all about food.
I am incredibly skinny.
Yes,
I am.
But maybe you care so much about food because you need it a lot more than I do.
I'm 5'11" and weigh the grand total of 9 stones.
As a comparison, I'm slightly smaller than him, and I haven't weighed myself in ages because of fear.
Of fear.
Well, that and my scales are a bit shit, but
Well, that's what they all say. Blame the skull. Anyway, so if you are living in the UK, I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
I'm sorry.
I did my best. I did vote.
You're referring to political decisions.
No.
I thought you were just referring to generally.
No, I'd say this country's pretty good. I just politically things are a bit.
We don't want this to go into a political.
No, it won't be.
podcast.
Anyway, aside from my political stances, Corbyn.
Hey, there you go.
So, being impartial, recently there was something called Brexit. Now, I don't want to go into I was for or against.
Well, when he
EU.
says he doesn't want to go into that, what he means is that if he does, I'm going to punch him.
Yes, and I'm ill-equipped for this fight
Yeah.
to the death. So,
Live on podcast.
I'm on podcast.
Audio
No.
fights. It's like UFC, but really shit.
So, my biggest rant and the most distressing thing that has come from Brexit is the pricing of food items is going up.
Well, there are a couple of objects, but I think the biggest thing was this is where the problem arose for you, Tim, because we've had a conversation about this
Yes.
before, and it was packets of Doritos that cost £1 in recommended retail price. Why did I go into that detail? I don't know, but carry on.
Well, so if a company has the choice of either raising the price of their item or shrinking the size of the object or their thing they're selling and keep the price the same.
Yes.
Now, in the end, it is the same thing. Probably they still like the price, like the object and the value, like they well. What am I trying to say?
I don't really know.
No. So in the end, it's the same thing, really. You're getting less.
Everything's the
You're getting less for your money, or you're getting.
I'm
you're
not
spending
comparing
more.
the two. So
Yeah, so this idea, but I feel like one is very deceptive, and I feel the one that's deceptive is them shrinking the amount of food you get, and
it's known as shrinkflation,
it's called shrinkflation.
which is a rather forced.
It's a
pun.
it's a contradicting sounding name.
You're right, actually. I didn't realise that. Before.
Anyway, so now the biggest drama in the
Your
UK,
life.
as we know, is the Freddo bar.
Oh, the Freddo.
Whose price went
The Freddo.
went from originally apparently 5p.
We
now-
are young whippersnappers. We don't remember when it was 5p.
We remember when it was 10p, but
Yes.
now it is how much? Is
25?
25p.
That is a 150% increase.
100% increase from when we knew it.
From when we knew it, from when it's beginning, that is a 500% increase.
So anyway, but things like Freddo, they can't shrink because you can't shrink a Freddo. To describe to our audio listeners, Freddo bar is...
those who don't know what a Freddo is.
Yes, to those who don't know
it's
Freddo,
a small chocolate bar that's shaped like a frog.
It's a very... I'd say it's about 3/4 of the size of the palm of your hand.
Okay, I mean...
I think that's a fair description. I think there's an average.
Well, I think the thing is though, that depends on the size of hands.
I think that's why.
You know what they say about people with big hands? They don't know how to measure Freddos.
So the Freddo. So okay, it's about. I'm going to stick with it with my hand, which I can't be able to tell you how to. Anyway, 3/4 the size of your palm of your hand, and so obviously it's not a very big chocolate. It's meant to be like for kids and their lunch boxes, but now it's 25p, and of course they didn't really have much.
Think of the children.
Yes, they don't get Freddos anymore.
Yeah, it's awful. I mean, I doubt there is a situation so dire where the price of Freddos have actually... Children can't be fed and they can't even have Freddos.
They can't even have Freddos.
It all adds up.
It does. And so...
Incidentally, while we're on the topic of Freddos, I'm just going to quickly sidetrack.
Go on.
This is something that I know that you're not particularly interested in, but I'm going to go it anyway. No, it's something to do with football.
Oh,
there was a particular player, his name's Neymar, and there's...
Do you like Freddos?
It's got something to do with Freddos, but
there's something like Freddos.
No, he's not sponsored by Freddos.
Okay.
He's going to be moving to clubs, and his price tag is quite a lot. The rumoured price is £198 million, which is equivalent to 7.29 billion Freddos. And that's in their exorbitant price. God knows what they'd be if it was 5p.
Who came up with this stat? Did you research this?
I was looking at the BBC Sport web page this morning, and they came up with that, and somebody said it'd be 7. Actually, I don't know if it might actually be more or less.
That is incredible.
I guessed it was 7.2.
Would you rather a world-class footballer or
7.2 billion Freddos?
I know what I would rather.
Yeah. I mean,
diabetes. So anyway, again, if you have diabetes, I'm sorry for offending. That was a joke.
Yes. I mean, you're covering our tracks.
So, where are we going?
You do realise, Tim, that
Yes.
I have clicked the explicit content button on the sound for our podcast. So, hypothetically, we don't actually need to apologise.
But we're English and we do apologise for everything. Actually,
That's Canadians, mate.
But the English say sorry as well.
Oh, yes, I suppose so.
But normally
if you want to be pedantic, everyone
normally
says sorry.
say sorry, you wanker.
You little cunt.
Oh,
that might have been a bit too.
That was a bit heavy there, Sean.
Bit.
We'll cut that bit out. Anyway.
No, we won't, because I'm editing.
Okay, so
now back to shrinkflation.
Yes, so shrinkflation. So, but other things they can shrink, and the thing that's been annoying me the most has been the Dorito.
As I mentioned earlier.
Now Doritos. Yes.
Quick thing.
Yes.
It's really pedantic. You wouldn't say the Dorito. It's not as if each single Dorito is getting smaller.
Yes, the Doritos.
The packets of Doritos.
Doritos are...
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Battery critically low. This is bad.
No, we've got plenty of time. We have plenty of time. We have... Anyway.
We're going to have to mould 2 bits of thing.
Ah, we're fine. And so, anyway...
This is the bit we'll be editing out.
No. So, yeah, will we? So, anyway... if you've seen there's a harsh cut at the moment, that's because we just cut out a roundabout running out of charge of my phone.
No, don't say that, because then we're going to have to cut, because then there's no point in cutting. Never mind.
No, there'll be... Anyway, aside that, so, the Doritos are a triangular-shaped crisp.
Oh, people know Doritos. Oh, come on.
Look, they could be watching in Bangladesh. And...
Well, first of all, they wouldn't be watching, they'd be listening. And secondly...
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Doritos are in Bangladesh.
Well, no, it's more... I don't think people in Bangladesh really care about 2 random people talking about Doritos.
Hey, you don't...
Even if people in Bangladesh do listen to podcasts, I imagine it's only the mainstream
Hey, don't
ones.
isolate our audience, okay? Allowed for everyone of all faiths, religions, sex, etc.
Gender-specific pronouns.
Exactly. So anyway, back to Doritos. Wow.
I'm sorry.
So
you wanker.
Thank you, you knob. All right. So Doritos have classically come in 2 sizes of packets. You have the kind of, as I said, sandwich. Well, the lunchbox size 60p bags,
Which used to be 50p.
Which used to be 50, I'm sure. And then for like the longest time I can remember, you had the slightly larger bags, which is designed for like parties, kind of, or like sharing with a friend, and they've been £1, and they're
And then you had for if you haven't the bag for if you have an exorbitant amount of friends.
yes,
So punishing you for having too good of a social life.
yes.
And they used to be about I don't know $2.50.
Well, nowadays things have changed. They've changed. They have shrunk.
We realise for two relatively young men,
Yeah.
we're basically We're basically going on a podcast and complaining about our grievances, how it was better how it used to be.
Well, times are changing ever quickly, ever more
Times
quickly.
they are changing.
So they've changed the size of the best size, I'd say, for sharing with friends, which was
Pan bag.
the pound bag, and so now it's only just bigger than the sandwich bag, like the one for sandwich, lunch boxes.
So it's for particularly hungry people
Yes,
like me.
it's just and so. It's
I realise my fat
and the
jokes don't work because people can't see me.
You're not that fat, I can assure you. Well, actually, I haven't seen that.
you.
I will say that I haven't seen that much of
No,
you.
and you don't want to.
No. It's just rolls and rolls and rolls. Just rolls
Keep
on, eh?
rolling.
So, they've changed the size, and now basically it. And the thing that frustrates me the most is when they introduce this new size that is smaller than the old and the same price. They advertise it as like the perfect size or like a new size. Or maybe even a new flavor. They detract it from the point is this is the same price as the old larger ones, and people could just say, Tim, you're seeing things, but the shop up the road, they seem to get things in bulk slightly later, and so there was a period of time where both the large bags and the smaller bags that are both £1 were sitting alongside each other.
Yes, that is
and there was no way of arguing that they have changed the size.
Do you want to know another twist to this tale of drama and nachos?
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
That's a Mexican buddy cop movie.
It's a Mexican B movie.
Bean movie.
Anyway, as you were saying.
To many larger shops.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just checking the battery. Many larger shops are now selling the "Oh my God, how many friends did you have?" or "Oh my God, how fat are you?"
Yes.
bags for £1, and they're not selling the smaller ones.
Yes.
So I'll be honest, I was going to bring this up, but I didn't have a point to make. It's weird, isn't it?
It seems
I said in it.
by the sounds of it, it looks like they may have retracted this smaller bag.
But yet they're still in the smaller shop. They're punishing the smaller shops. That's the narrative here.
That is, they're punishing the smaller local businesses.
Yes.
Anyway, enough. Of
Right
my
now,
political stances there.
that was your
Well then.
attempt to be interesting.
That was my attempt to be interesting.
You know, I've just had a bit of a thought. My attempt to be interesting is also to do with refreshments.
Ah,
So we probably should call this like the Rambly Food Special.
or we
Well,
haven't had lunch yet.
Yes, which ironically we have.
We have actually, but I didn't. No, I had
Hence the reason you talked about the Coke bottle.
I had a cornetto for lunch.
Yeah, and I had more.
He had more.
That's
That's how we would describe it.
Yes.
So anyway, Sean, your attempt to be interesting.
It's like a scene from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
We're not.
Two number nines, and let's
end that
get away from memes
Tell you
as
what,
quickly as
we'll
possible.
insert the audio of that
Yes.
in this.
I mean, thank
section.
you for making it a lot more tricky for me to edit.
Well, you know, and then afterwards we'll include some flashing images
You can't do the images, it's a podcast.
on an audio orientated show. So anyway, your attempt to be interesting.
My attempt to be interesting is talking about Fanta. You know Fanta, right?
I do know Fanta.
You like Fanta, do you?
I
The
think I know
orangeade-
what you're coming on to. I think you're going on to.
Now, have you ever thought that when you're drinking your delicious glass of Fanta that you're supporting fascism?
You know what? I had no idea you were coming.
I'll be
to
honest, that's a bit of a stretch, but
I think
it's the origin of Fanta, which is what my subject is about.
Yes.
It starts as all happy stories start. World War Two. and Germany have a bit of a problem. No, it's not that they have appointed Hitler and they're killing hundreds upon thousands of innocent people. it's their refreshments industry.
Oh no!
Because-
Shock horror.
Because Germany, like everywhere, had become very well known with Coca-Cola. Everybody loves Coca-Cola.
I thought
That's
America
fair.
came out with Coca-Cola.
Well, it did, and that's the point. And when well, I know it was when the war broke out. It might have been a bit before when the Nazi Party came to power.
Yes.
But the Coke company did not agree with this, and they decided to cancel all of their
Shipments.
their shipments. That's thank you for filling in to Germany. So then you had all of these factories that were meant to bottle Coke, and they had nothing to do, and that's obviously not very good for the factory.
Yes.
So they decided to just grab anything that they had around the factory and try and make a drink out of that. As it happened, they had orange juice and sparkling water and a couple of other things and sugars, and they mix it together. And there it was, Fanta. And it sold like hotcakes. I don't know why I stumbled on hotcakes, but I did. I mean, naturally it would sell very well because they...
Is the overall they've got?
Yes, it in many ways it is fascism in a drink. No, drink our soft drink. You have no choice.
And so...
And then from there, the brand carried on, and then some American, who I imagine came over after the war had been lost by Germany, came over.
he wasn't
tried
interested in the German scientists. He was interested
He's
in their
interested
refreshment
in their
industry.
in their sugary drinks. How very American. I'll be honest, I don't know if it was an American, but for entertainment's sake, let's say it was an American.
I'm sure we're going to be
Coming over
battered in
and
the comment for historical inaccuracies.
I haven't even whipped out an American accent yet, and
Do not. I will walk out of this room if you
I
attempt.
already have a fallout in the Two in the Bush podcast
Yes,
if I
I
do
walk out.
an American accent.
But yes, you are more than welcome to show and clearly show our historical inaccuracies,
Yes.
and
Put
we will
that in
we will
put
make
it in
sure
the
that we do
reviews
our
or the
very
comments
best.
or whatever it may be.
We will do our very best to completely ignore them and say, "You wankers."
We're not going to call our audience wankers. But opposed to what Tim
I
said.
apologise for my statement.
Yeah,
I've just undermined my audience.
Tim is.
I'm
Tim,
at the beginning.
You
This is
are
the worst
you
thing
are the
you should
loose
do.
cannon of this podcast.
I'm now going to walk out.
No, don't walk out.
Okay.
But as we said before, feel free to correct our historical inaccuracies. So, and if somebody can go in there and in the reviews and do that, and we will say a heartfelt thank you, you wankers.
Oh, not the only one.
No.
Thank you for saving me. Now we have no subscribers.
No, Tim, that was just a reference to the earlier joke.
And nobody to support me.
No, we've scared everyone away.
So thank you.
Much like our friendship circles.
So thank you.
Well,
Thank you. So, thank you to the one audio listener who's probably just
Oh, the
jacking off
one-
to Minecraft Let's Plays and accidentally clicked onto this.
Why would this be suggested in Minecraft Let's Plays? Because I mean, I probably will put it onto YouTube, but that'd be some awful tagging.
No, it's called clickbait.
Oh, what? So we have some. So you're suggesting for the thumbnail we have some sort of Minecraft character with massive tits, with a fidget spinner in between those tits, and it's all circled with a big arrow pointing towards it.
And Justin Bieber in the background.
And also, you've moved further and further away from the podcast.
I have not.
From the podcast, from the microphone.
I'm sure the audio will still be fine.
Yeah.
So
Now,
anyway,
let's move on to the next segment, which we're going to call almost satire.
I'll let you begin.
Well, what we do with this bit is we take the we take a story from the news.
Yes.
Is there anything that may have come up? But instead of talking about that,
Yes.
we're going to warp it to our heart's content and try and make something entertaining.
Okay.
So I think that's a simple enough premise.
Sounds like a very short thing. I mean, I know a story in the news, but I'll let you go first.
I mean, okay, but remember you got to warp it and try and make it funny.
Okay.
So, recently, as some of you may know, the British Broadcasting Company, is that it? The BBC,
Yes.
had their pay released I think it was released. It was kind of weird because
They were forced to reveal the payments for all their employees.
okay, because I remember it was a bit weird because I can remember I found out about this story just before it broke, and it's saying the BBC will reveal their pay at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it was on their website, even though it was not particularly beneficial for them. But that explains
I
it.
believe it was a legal obligation by the
Okay.
government, who, by the way, is
Don't take it back to politics. No. Abort. Delete.
Anti the BBC due to the BBC generally being slightly left wing.
Left wing.
Core win.
Core win.
Core win. So, anyway.
What was this about not being a political podcast? Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah, that's out of the window and into the sea.
Into the sea.
And the bottom of the sea being eaten by Cthulhu. But
So,
anyway, their pay revealed that there was a rather large pay gap between their male personalities and their female personalities.
Yeah.
Now, this is obviously something that could have a very topical and very interesting debate about, but we're not going to do that. What we're going to do...
Third wave feminism.
You just want to contribute that?
I just wanted to say that we've opened the floodgates for third wave feminists to
you'd be great
rage
on the
war
news.
in the comments.
You'd be great on the news, because it would be great if there was like an anchor and then they say the news story and you just say what it will lead to.
So to sum up,
North Korea have reportedly been testing missiles off the coast of Japan. So let's go over to Tim to say what this will lead to. Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
What? Say absolutely nothing again?
That was a joke to war. What's even good for?
Oh, okay.
Oh, you see, I had to explain.
I didn't even say war though, so it didn't really work.
You said absolutely nothing. I said say it again.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
That's a very obscure and kind of shit joke. But what I was going to get to is, instead of talking about that and just saying third order feminism.
Yes.
Actually, that's the point. What's the difference between first and second and third order feminism?
So first wave
is first order feminism just feminism, and is second order feminism like feminism which is inside discrimination, which is inside feminism?
I don't know if you're being sincere. You're probably not.
I'm not.
I do
that's actually more of an obscure reference than you made.
First, second, and third wave feminism, because I believe the first wave was during.
Wait, hold on. We're just going to end up talking about the thing and making this segment completely pointless.
I'm allowing the audience to describe their angry view, their angry opinions on our historical,
in caps locks
of our historical inaccuracies. But I believe that first wave feminism was during the 1900s.
Oh, okay.
Early 1900s. During, pre, during, and post World War One.
Yes. Where they got the right to vote.
Yes, where women were fighting to get the right to vote. In the UK, second wave feminism, I think, was in America during the same time as the civil rights.
Okay. And then third order feminism is now. God knows what fourth order feminism is going to be like.
Well, apparently some feminists, apparently a lady went to the UN and wanted to have an island completely made of lesbians.
I beg your pardon?
Wanted an island to be, a society to be built upon an island full of lesbians, and they believe that is the only way humanity can truly move on.
I have never wanted something to be fake news more.
I'm sorry?
No, Tim, please tell me you're making that up.
I'm afraid I'm not.
Where did you find this? Why did you not put this in your attempt to be interesting?
Because
you're hungry.
Because I feel like the show and how it's been crafted and the nature of it, I think that would have been too topical and too intelligent and too intellectual for our audience.
Don't insult the audience again.
I believe we should bring it back down to earth and talk about Doritos and fandom.
Why do you hate the people who haven't yet listened to the podcast?
I'm sure some psychologists are here. No,
I mean,
in reality,
we are sitting on a sofa, so this is going to become a counselling session.
I believe that in reality, that it's more showing my insecurity about my oneself and my own intellectual stance. And anyway, you
I've
can
tried to make the make
again,
the thing that
audience.
we're
You're
going
welcome
say.
to absolutely slaughter me.
Yes, do. He deserves it.
I
I love you all. He hates you. This is weird. What I was going to say is, instead of talking about feminism and all that, what we're going to do
yes.
is we're going to speculate in what other places there may be a difference in pay,
Go
a
on.
pay gap. I mean, I'm going to start with something that I actually brought up in a previous conversation, which is the Autons. We've got the Autons, of course, a BBC monster on the show Doctor Who.
I'm looking forward to
And
this.
they are mannequins brought to life. And as you once said, why aren't female mannequins called womannequins? Which, I'll be honest, sounds like some sort of weird Star Wars fan fiction.
I was thinking that actually.
We're both thinking of Star Wars fan fiction,
Hey, we
which
both
is always
know.
good.
So
And it would make sense that they haven't been on the show a lot recently. They're in the first episode of the new series, and then they've gone. So I can only imagine that the unions are having an absolute meltdown. You know, can you imagine that? The Autons all on strike all around BBC Television Centre. It'd be amazing.
I mean, currently, if you look in most retail shops, you'll see the female mannequins looking absolutely fine, and all the male ones being completely dismantled.
Many say they're going on hunger strike. Have you ever seen a mannequin eat?
No,
Exactly.
fair enough.
But what was that about falling to pieces?
I was just saying that the women mannequins have mannequins
mannequins.
have completely dismantled the male mannequins, and
Well, so they're like spiders.
kind of,
They mate
yeah.
with them and then they kill them.
Not necessarily mate with them, but that's probably.
But it's
fan
probably,
fiction.
a severe lack of genitalia.
I'm just thinking that the women mannequins are just vandalising the stores with them. They're just vandalising the male section
No,
of the shops.
it's like the storming of Bastille, but it's like New Look. And then they've gone in there to release the insane mannequins.
Sounds like absolute mannequin.
Mannequin.
Sounds like absolute mannequin.
Mannequin anarchy.
Right. Anyway,
So that's one thing where there could be a lack of pay difference. Or no, wait, that makes no sense. I just said a lack of pay difference. There would be a pay difference. Would the male mannequins or female mannequins actually be paid more? That's the question.
what mannequins?
Yeah, which would be paid more? Would it be the males or the females?
Well, I thought you established that due to the recent the reveal of the pay gap in the British.
Oh, yes, because they are BBC, aren't they?
Yes. So I assume what you're saying.
The thing is, though, not
that
not all mannequins are Autons, Tim.
only the okay.
Actually, there's going to be an event coming on in a couple of days called Mannequin Pride. They'll all be wandering the streets of Brighton.
I'm sorry. I did not write this.
Again, it's not being written.
And it hasn't been
If somebody
scripted.
can't tell, this is not the furthest away from scripted you could
I'm
get
just looking forward to the world just coming to war, raging war in the comments.
on us.
Yes.
To get a tank outside.
Yes. By the way, you're using your email, right?
Pardon?
Do you use your email to set up this account?
I did. Bollocks.
Well, you'll know how to find his email.
Well, they won't if they're listening on iTunes or Stitcher. Well, I don't think they will.
Okay, well, I've only revealed my first name, all right? Oh, I don't know if you revealed my second.
His surname is Timothy Broad. He actually, no, I'm not going to say where he
No,
lives.
well, you said my second name, so thank you. Anyway,
Right, where else could there be a pay gap? I reckon hyenas.
hyenas.
I mean, if you look at the lives of a female hyena to a male hyena, I think it could be. Female hyenas are so much further up in the pack. Male hyenas, they're fine when they're cubs, but then as soon as they grow up,
Yes.
they're right at the bottom of the pecking order. So there'll probably be a pay gap there.
Well,
Not
yeah.
entirely sure. I mean, I suppose you could say that in this mental situation this came up with, the idea of a pay gap would be they get less food, which is true. Male hyenas get less food than female hyenas, so that wasn't really meant to be intellectual, but it kind of turned into it. So
I mean, I guess somewhere else where there could be a rather substantial pay gap would definitely be with the Teletubbies.
oh,
I do believe that the Teletubbies are no longer on TV.
Oh, aren't they? I mean, I imagine it's very hard for them to get to work now these days.
I know, and I've heard that Lala and Poe are currently demonstrating their differences.
I was going to say that Lala and Poe are so short of money they're having to work the pole.
By the way, if you don't know,
that's a fair point. People might not know what
if
the
people don't know who the
are.
Teletubbies were, they were terrifying.
Just Google them.
Just Google them, and you'll wonder why many children of the British
How much
are
is the
disturbed.
Hoover paid? What gender is the Hoover?
I don't think we need to go into semantics.
Don't we?
Is that the right word?
It might be.
I said a smart word.
Well, you said a smart sounding word, but you have no idea what it means.
No, but this is the most intellectual.
I'm going to
thing
Google
there.
semantics. Hang on.
All right, while he Googles,
Also,
I was going to.
there's actually been a big problem with the Teletubby world recently,
Yes.
and that is that portions of Teletubby custard and Teletubby toast have actually been getting smaller, but have remained the same price.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
That is Lincoln back.
That is unbelievable.
It's a worldwide problem.
So,
If the Teletubbies can suffer from it anyway. Also,
what was the name?
actually,
Sorry, remind me, what was the name of this particular segment?
almost satire.
Almost satire. Well, I would like something I'd like to discuss recently in the news that I can't remember where it was in the UK.
Well,
Having something.
Are you going? Sorry, I'm jumping the gun. I'm waiting to see how you warp this because remember you've got to warp it. That's the point. It's almost satire.
Well,
Not quite.
apparently a crane that was being used on a building site toppled over onto some houses. Fortunately, nobody was killed.
Well, that's good. I imagine the crane took a bit of a beating, but
Cranes are very
wait,
substantial.
where are you going with this? You're going to say whose house do you want a crane to fall onto?
Yes, I was exactly no. What I was saying was that
Well, I've actually got a
many
list
people
in my phone.
obviously were naturally evacuated from their homes. Nobody was
Okay.
died. No, I don't think anybody was
Nobody
injured.
was died.
Nobody was killed, and nobody was injured. But I think they did have to find temporary homing, and accommodation. What I wanted to say was that at least they've got a new climbing frame.
Oh, what? So, are you? We're going to warp this to what other? So you're saying that a crane could be used as a good climbing frame.
Absolutely.
So, are there any bits of heavy machinery that you could add to the top or the bottom or near or wherever to a home, and it could be useful for the children to be entertained with? That's a question and a half.
I mean, I wouldn't trust my children if I ever have children with a steamroller.
A steam. I mean, mate. I mean, I feel like like a steamroller would be really cheating at hopscotch. so no to steamroller.
No steamroller.
What about it? I'm thinking there's got to be something with Digger. I mean, in the UK, there's actually Digger Land,
Hey,
a whole children's theme park based around diggers. So
and
you've
I
got to
have
have something good with
I have
diggers.
been to Diggerland.
So have I.
You've been to Diggerland?
I'm probably too old, but I have been. How old were you when you went to Diggerland?
Too old.
Too old. I'm so old I don't remember.
So yeah,
I think I was about 14.
And hey, honestly, it wasn't.
And it's literally the only reason why I went is because I didn't get a chance to go when I was a kid.
It was all right.
It's very, it's what you'd expect.
No,
Wait, hold on. Did you go to the one? Are there separate Diggerlands?
no.
Which one did you? Where was yours?
I just want to quickly say though,
Okay.
earlier you said, were you asking whether whose house you want a crane to fall on?
Okay.
And I said no, that's not where I was going.
Yes.
I lied.
Oh,
You read through me, and I was frustrated. I was a little annoyed.
it's like you thought. You just looked at me and you thought, has he come up with a better idea than mine?
No, well, you came up with my idea.
Fair enough.
And I
so,
was like,
whose house do you want? I mean,
yours. Your house.
Thank you. Likewise.
Oh.
As in, I want the crane to fall on my house
Oh.
to end it.
Oh. Okay.
Actually, how about this? Instead of what house, what bit of like architecture or anything would be better if a crane fell on it? I think the Shard. Partly because it'd be quite a test to get it up there,
Yes.
and partly because when it does fall, I imagine in true movie style, all of the windows would break and a rain of glass coming down on central London.
Right. I think that classes you as a terrorist.
Sorry, if there are any terrorists listening, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You can have that idea for free.
I mean, if you can find a way to get a digger, however high up you need to get it, because I imagine it had to be on the top, then quite frankly, I think that's more of an achievement than anything else.
And if any of you have been affected by terrorism, I am very sorry, that you may have lost your loved ones or whatever. Anyway,
I feel like the heartfelt apologies is going to become a segment at this stage.
Yeah, I think this is half of the apologies.
We need like a content warning. What warning? Multiple apologies.
We're very, very Canadian.
We're trying. What I love about this is you're trying to be as politically correct as possible, even though you had a dig at the politics of this country earlier on.
Hey, but tell you what, do you know when
you whose house I'd like a digger to fall on? Theresa May's.
Isn't that Downing Street at the moment?
Actually, that would improve the architecture.
Yes.
Because you'd be like pan over Big Ben. Oh, that's nice. House of Lords and the House of Parliament. There's a JCB, kind of leaning either side like the bus in The Great Escape.
Theresa May climbing all over it is like
what? Oh, what? This is fun. Stop running the country. I can do this.
So, Tori, you said you want a building to a crane fall on the Shard. I personally love the Shard. I think it's a fantastic building. I think it's a fantastic.
Not
piece
sponsored.
Of modern architecture, but the building that isn't a fantastic piece of modern architecture is
Your
the
house?
walkie-talkie.
Oh, the walkie. Oh,
Who
the one that set fires to cars.
Well, certainly melted cars and melted like the markings on pavements.
So you suggested. So I went for like spectacle, like Michael Bay spectacle. You went for
Just
trying to be helpful.
I just dislike the building. I think it's incredibly ugly.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, because you've got the Gherkin, you've got the Shard, both are glass buildings, and then you've got the walkie-talkie there, and it's kind of... Oh, you're curved.
I mean, I feel like the walkie-talkie is very much like on each side profile. If you're down...
Is it the reason that's curved? Because it has to... to try and maintain a sight line in London. No, you may have noticed there was a bit of a jump in the podcast there, but that is because we've been let down a little bit. Our high-end, state-of-the-art technology of a piece of paper nailed to a door, or rather stuck there by a dart, has failed us.
Yes.
We had people walking in.
Unfortunately, I have the debilitating fact that I live at home with my parents.
You have a debilitating need for their protection.
Yes, and food.
And food.
And
Food.
It was good food. But we got sidetracked. Back to...
We were talking about I was questioning why the walkie-talkie was curved.
It was because... One reason was because there's something to do with there having to be points where you could see the London
I referenced
icon.
it earlier with sight lines.
Yes, that's exactly the word. That's the correct word. That's better.
It's
exactly.
something to do with like a park. Parks in London.
You must be able to see St Paul's Cathedral from certain points. I don't know what the point is, or what I think you say it was a park, maybe.
I think there's from several different points, from several viewing points,
and so they had to make it curved. It was out of the way, and also it also bulges a little bit in areas. It bulges a little bit again. That's because it's to do with land costing a lot, and so what the architects and the engineers want to do is try and maximise that space. So they just built outward. It's like what Tudors houses used to do. Land was tight at the bottom, so they just used to expand outwards near the top to get more room out of the land.
I mean, it's a bit shit if you're building a house next to one of those houses, because then there's a big plot of
exactly.
land you can't
In fact, there's a picture from on the ground level, and this building is right up close to the walkie-talkie, and it's overhanging almost completely over. It's just it's just not a very good looking building, and there's not the only building. There's another building near the Tate Modern which does the same thing. It has a very weird bulge, and it defies. I mean, buildings can be a spectacle if they seem to defy physics.
This is somebody who's into architecture, by the way.
Yes, it can be a spectacle. Like, wow, how has this building managed to stand? Like things maybe like by Zaha Hadid, like the funky shapes that produce it.
Funky shapes.
I mean, that's the best way to describe
The funky building. The funky house.
Still refers to things as funky. And gnarly.
That is actually the technical term.
Yes, and abstract.
Yeah.
And if something's abstract and it's meant to look abstract, then that's appealing. It's achieved its goal being abstract. But this building is like borderline between.
It looks like it's got a disease.
It's either trying to. It's almost, I feel like, tell you what, Uncanny Valley. I feel like bear with me.
I don't think you mean Uncanny Valley.
I think I do.
Uncanny Valley is faces.
No, but I feel like
If you're seeing a face in a building, then you need to see a doctor.
Unless it's got a gargoyle.
I mean, I suppose, or maybe a lion.
But what I'm saying is like something that doesn't look like a building at all, right?
Yeah.
But it is a building. Like Zaha did some designs.
I don't know what that is, but I'm just going to nod.
I cannot remember the name of the building. One of them has a very just funky shape. It almost looks like the Virgin Media logo. Looks quite similar to that.
Okay.
But obviously it's still a building. But because it doesn't pretend to be anything else but a piece of abstract art.
Yeah.
But the problem with... And all you have a very just normal building that follows all the normal conventions. Like the Empire State Building or something, it gets narrow as it gets to the top and it's a very bulky building. It looks like it should stand. But things like, I feel, the walkie-talkie and this other building, which I don't know the name of, they look like they're trying to be abstract at the same time as trying to be a uniform building, and it ends up just creating a mess. So I feel like it fits into neither abstract or conforming.
And you can't meet in the middle.
And it's very hard to meet in the middle.
So the moral of the story is bomb them now.
Bring down the buildings.
Bring them down. Don't care if there's still people in them.
We're sorry for those who are affected by 9/11.
But no, I was just going to say people who may be in those buildings when we bomb them.
I think we have to cut that out. But if you don't, I denounce all partaking of this podcast.
This one podcast has simultaneously ruined both of our potential careers.
Yes. But at least we're aware of that.
So we've gone from moaning about food to pay gaps in different places.
Yeah.
To chucking heavy machinery onto bits of modern architecture.
So how should we end this show?
Well, what we're going to try and do at this point is try and do some sort of video challenge. We can't do it this week.
Yes.
We're going to aim to do it next week, and that will be exclusive to YouTube, obviously, because as we've said before, this isn't in the state it is now. It's audio only. But now, what we like to do to end it is to play a little silly game. You might think, oh, what's this? Hopscotch. The little thing with the paper, which I've never understood.
Cutting yourself.
Sorry. Not. I mean, you could do that with paper, I suppose. But what we've got a couple of games, and we want to rotate them between each podcast to make it original.
Yeah. And
the game that we're going to play now is we like to call Bottom of the Alternatives.
Care to explain what that means?
Bottom of the Alternatives. It's a pun, sort of, on top of the pops. Because what we like to do is we take a well-known song, we make all of the lyrics the opposite of each other.
The ones we can.
Ones we can, obviously. And then we charge the other person in guessing what it is. It's just, you can do this on your way home if you like. Try and do it with that Spanish song that's in the charts right now. In fact, actually, if you want a bonus thing for that, look up what that means.
Look up the original translation.
It's a song about abduction, stalking, and selling seals.
It's very intriguing.
Yes.
Of course, this is not... I think there are two versions made of the song. One that was just complete English translation remake.
Whichever...
And there's one that's obviously the Spanish cover.
Look at the Spanish lyrics.
I believe it's the Spanish... It's what the lyrics would sound like if they were just taken straight from the Spanish language.
Yes.
Have a look. They're a great read. Really good read if you found 50 Shades of Grey equally interesting.
It's not exactly Shakespeare, but...
No.
But you could find it entertaining. Now, anyway, let's go on with the actual game. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first? Can you remember your song? Because quick note behind the curtain here, it's actually been a while since you actually recorded the first bit. So your thing might be out of your head.
Do I need to sing it, or should I just...
No, just say the words. I think that makes it more entertaining.
The lyrics.
Just say the lyrics, because the tune gives a lot of it away.
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so you're going to be frantically thinking of...
Because I had one already, but you knew what it was because I sung it.
Oh, yes, and yes, this is...
I mean, tell you what, we'll give you an example.
Okay,
the example that I did before was basically... do you hate me, pedestrian? Do you hate me, pedestrian? Oh.
pedestrian. I think you've got that the
Oh,
wrong way
no.
around. He's got it the wrong way around.
I know, it's not
the
a
lyric
pedestrian.
Was, it's
No.
It's,
Oops, that is the wrong word.
it's the word for OAP.
Yes, sorry.
Might
Wait.
begin with P.
No.
Pensioner.
Sorry. I'll tell you what, I'll try that one again.
Go again.
I failed my own. Right.
You failed your own test.
Disclaimer. Hopefully, with the episodes after this one, the quality will vastly being.
By that I mean we'd have actually prepared.
Yes, what we mean. All right. So what I meant to say was, do
Do
you
you
hate me,
pensioner?
pensioner?
Do you hate
Do
me?
you
Oh.
hate me? Oh.
That, if you may have worked it out at home, that is the that is the reverse lyrics of "Don't You Want Me, Baby." Which, when you think about it, it isn't "Don't You Love Me," it's "Don't You Want Me." So it wouldn't be "Don't You Hate Me." Do you hate me? It would be "Do you
There is another word for
reject me?"
Do you reject me? That's the same way of hate, I feel. I think
Well, yeah, I
hate and
suppose.
rejection is very much.
Sometimes you've got to be abstract to try and find a good way of
Yes,
knowing.
all right. So
Now,
we'll
I've got. You'll be able to actually hear our process of trying to work this out, both saying it to the other person and the other person working it out. So
Okay.
I'm going to try and go for one now. And
Have you got it prepared?
It's in my head, but I just need to
Break it down.
I'll be going off the old dome piece. So,
I mean, during this, we obviously can't just have complete silence.
no. Thank you for filling in.
I'm just going to keep on filling in and explain.
Okay, I've got.
Oh, you've got one. I don't need to do anything. Okay, here we go.
You can't definitively say whether I shouldn't be in limbo. I'll probably won't go to hell. Don't you lift up your toes and be happy.
All right, start
So
from the
you're
beginning.
gonna yeah. So it
I
goes.
think I know what it is.
It says, you
I-
can definitively say
I can't speak.
that I should be in limbo. That's. I'll be honest. The reason that's
Can't be
opposite.
in limbo.
You've got to think what is limbo.
Being alive or dead.
Okay, being alive or dead.
I can't. Wait, I can't think whether
Yeah, I deliberately did this because I realised definitively say would catch you out.
I can't. Oh, decide.
Oh, has he got it?
Is it by any chance I can't decide whether you should live or die?
By the Scissor Sisters, yes.
Oh, good. There we go.
I chose that because it's a song you know, and I was hoping
Thank
that you get really annoyed.
That's an easy one, but I hope it was meant to be difficult. Now I'm going to struggle with this
Okay,
because
to do what I did, just off the old dome
I mean
piece.
I'm not one for modern music.
Wait, is this it?
No.
It's like she knows all the classics and stuff like that. The opposite of.
Oh, do you know what? I could have done another Scissor Sisters one. I don't feel like dancing. I love my Scissor
So that'd
Sisters.
be you do want. Well, what would be the opposite of feel? Taste.
Paralysed.
You do paralysed like.
Yeah.
Well. I mean, you can't dance if you're paralysed. Sorry.
So, I'm really struggling with this.
Well, I mean, it's a tricky game, especially if you haven't prepared.
Oh, so I'm not very great with lyrics. Oh, wait.
Oh, has he got one? Oh. I should stop doing that.
hang
That's
on.
not compelling
Wait.
content.
So,
So,
Terry, you give a run commentary while I think about it.
all right. So, and here we see Timothy Broad trying to think of a song to make opposite. His hand is over his mouth. He wipes his nose, perhaps making a Hitler reference. If so, then sorry.
Thanks for that.
I just want to say sorry a lot so we can make it a running joke. He gives out a exailment of confusion.
I need to write it.
Oh, you need to write it.
No, not my jazz magazine.
Now, just for a bit of context, Timothy's mum recently bought him a jazz magazine. However, she didn't realise that this jazz magazine was from, what was it, January 1992?
1992.
And she thought it was perfectly modern.
8 years before I was born.
Yes.
Nearly 9 years.
9 years.
Wow.
Nearly 9 years before you were born. Wait, that makes no sense, because that'd be 2001. You were born in 99.
98.
Oh, yeah, you were born in 98, so that'd be 6, mate. Add up.
I failed A-level maths, but I passed a GCSE with a B.
Actually, while you're writing down your lyrics, I think I can tell the story about the day that we both got kicked out of A-level maths.
Yes.
Because what happened was I knew pretty much, because when I went into A-level maths, I was pretty good at GCSE. I get into A-level, I'm like, oh my God, what is life? And I struggle quite a lot. And the teacher is saying, look, if you don't improve grades in a couple of weeks, you're probably going to have to get kicked off the course. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I go in one day, I can't remember what day it was, but I go in. And the teacher gets me to come over and he says, look, your results haven't improved. It's probably best for you and for us for you to stop doing the course. So thank you for wanting to partake in the course, but yeah, you can't do it. And I understood that. I was very understanding. I said, thank you. Thank you for trying your best of this sinking ship that is my maths skills. So then I go up and go to the common room because I've got nothing to do. So I'm sitting up there in the common room. And then Tim walks in. So I say, Tim, shouldn't you be in maths? And what had happened is Tim had also been told that he should have been going to be kicked off this course. But he had no prior warning.
Nope.
From memory, didn't you say that you basically just went in through the door and he basically just said, get out? I
was in and out of the classroom within 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's not particularly considerate, is it?
And he also didn't give me any instructions on where to go.
Oh, well, I mean, admittedly, he didn't give me any instructions where to go. I just went to the common room.
To me, he said, oh no, just sign yourself off. But now that, sign myself off could be very much taken as, do I just... Yourself. No. Sign my soul to the devil. No,
yes, sign your soul off to the devil.
That, or does it mean just go home? Or do I take myself... I mean, it's quite ambiguous. Do I just sign myself off the mass register, which surely he would do, hence why I didn't make that assumption, and I assume just sign out, as in leave the building, which is what you had to do before. If you were leaving the building, you had to say you're leaving the building by signing on a register.
So... pretty much, maths teachers are evil and they should all be killed.
No, no. He, in his defence,
what's the word I'm looking for? Is it sorry?
No, in his defence, he did apologise because I think he was just basically in a rush to have a lesson, to start a lesson. Because granted, it was a little bit late, but he was a bit dismissive of how he, executed. And,
you metaphorically chopped your maths head off.
Yes, and later on he was very, what's the word? For example, at the end of the year we normally have a small music thing or a celebration of sorts. And I played clarinet, and he said, "Well done." I did well with my clarinet because I'm a nerd and I play clarinet. I'm not a nerd. I'm proud I play clarinet.
You play clarinet because you're a jazzy boy.
Jazzy boy. That's why I had to go to Jazz Magazine.
Yeah, from 1992.
Give me...
Now, have you finished yet?
2 more minutes.
2 more minutes. So I've got to now talk for 2 more minutes. Well, quite clear lack of preparation is coming through like an ulcer on your face.
Or think about it as I am preparing you, whether you like it or not, for the stand-up routines that one day you may be performing.
What, by making songs opposite?
Or maybe sometimes saying things on the fly.
Oh, what? So you're just saying use it as an improv session?
Yes.
So, right.
You can't talk to me because I'm going to have to blank out.
Right, I can't. Okay. So now I am.
I am quite dyslexic.
You're not entirely dyslexic.
Well, I show signs of
you weren't tested
because I can't focus on more than one thing at once. I'm very much one thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
So you're going to have. I'm sorry.
So I'm going to now have to talk to the audience. Well, first of all, I'd like to just say The views of Tim on what you may do not reflect mine. What he may have said earlier in the podcast, he didn't mean. He's just a bit silly and dumb and needs to see a doctor pretty quickly.
Okay, I can hear this bit.
Yes, you can hear that. The thing is that by taking a jab at you, he's going to make it longer, so I probably shouldn't. Who should I take a jab at? Theresa May? No, not Theresa May, because we've gone over. It's not going to be a political podcast. Now, I mean, it probably could be easier if we just used the magic of editing to cut this bit out, and then it would be suddenly like, oh, Tim, you've prepared your stuff. So what was going to happen now is I'm going to stop talking. There shall be a random noise, and by that, when that is over, Tim will have finished. Tim,
Yes, hello.
have you done it now?
Yes, I have. That's
Editing is magic. It took but a second, but in reality, it was about 10 minutes.
about 10 minutes. And
But
only
now-
4 lines of song.
Only 4 lines of song.
I need
10 minutes. That's 2.5 minutes per line.
I need to compose myself.
You compose it.
Okay.
We could be onto a winner here, folks. Tim,
I reckon
when you're ready,
Now, I personally think that the first 2 lines will help you,
okay.
but the second 2
Will they throw me off?
they'll completely throw you off.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
God. Ready as I'll ever be.
Right. And the problem is I have to be careful how I say it, because if I break it up into the same way it's broken up in the
Just
song.
say it
Okay.
and don't break it up in the
Oh,
song.
no, I'll break it up as it is a sentence. Okay.
Okay.
Whether Okay, but here we go.
Right.
If I give up my worst and do fail, if I take what I need and what I want, if I'm paralysed, so awake, and I can wake up, freed out forward.
Wait, so how did it start?
If I give up my worst...
If I
If I give up my worst
Okay, so that
and
counts.
do fail...
So if I do my best and succeed?
I hope I haven't screwed this up. If I give up my worst...
If I give up my worst? If I
And do-
try my best and
I do fail.
I do well, I do succeed.
Hey, you got it! You must have it already. That's one of the most famous intros to a song ever.
If I do my best and succeed?
No! You just said... Right, tell you what, read it yourself. Okay, read it to yourself.
Okay. If I gave up my worst and do fail, if I take what I need and what I want, so we're oppositing that. Hold on.
You're going to have to opposite pretty much every single word, because every single word...
You is that every single word?
Okay, yep.
So
That can't be changed.
if you if you try your best and don't but don't succeed.
Yep.
So if you try your best and don't succeed, try again.
Did I miss a word?
I
missed that word.
Oh, damn it, Tim. We're here for 10 minutes. You missed a word.
No.
This is...
Okay, I'll read it to you again.
If you try your best and don't succeed... Is that a
No.
song?
If I give up my worst and you do fail.
So
There we go. That's changed that now. So
if you try your best and you don't succeed...
I fucked up again.
Oh, for fun! Tim...
No, I haven't. No, wait. I haven't.
What, am I
fucked
getting
up.
it wrong?
No, because this word can be reversed as well.
If...
What's the opposite of if? Almost if. It's kind of opposite.
Opposite of if?
If implies it might happen or it might not.
Will.
No, if is like may
It
or may
might
not.
happen.
So what's opposite of maybe is a definitive.
Yes or no?
Kind of. It's maybe. This one's quite ambiguous. It's when.
It's when. So the when is so when you try your best and you don't succeed. When you Oh, when you get what you want and not what you need.
Yes.
It was delights will guide you home or something like that.
No, because there's another bit of the lyric where this is the bit that I.
Well, I know
forgot
what song
about.
it is. It's "Fix You" by Coldplay.
It's basically if you feel tired and you can't wake, so you can't.
And you can't go to sleep.
No, what's the opposite of, well, yeah, fall asleep. And then stuck in reverse is freed out forward. So to read it again, if I give up my worst and you do fail.
When you try your best and you don't succeed.
If I take what I need and what I want.
But not what you need.
If you paralyze so awake
if you
and
feel
you can wake up.
If you feel
so
paralyzed
tired,
and if you feel so tired, but you can't sleep.
You can't sleep.
Freed out forward, stuck in reverse. You did quite well there.
I was as I said, like the first two will help you, but the second two will completely throw you off.
I was trying to work out, like, have you get? And then I was like, I
forgotten what words I'd flipped round.
You see, when it's done well, like it was done
very
then,
difficult.
It works.
Because it's not because that song isn't.
Do you reckon instead of rotating, we could just do this every week?
I think so. Yes.
We're going to make that. We're going to make that its own
Hopefully,
segment.
it'll be a bit more polished, and we'll explain the rules, and we won't have the awkward breakdown.
Or break
Or
between.
like the break, yeah, and like.
Not a breakdown.
No, not as in breakdown.
You want that stuck? Like, what do I do? I don't know how to do it.
Or do I know how to not do it?
What he's saying? Say what I said opposite.
Exactly.
Wait,
anyway,
no, I'm not even going to try
don't even
that.
try that. Anyway, so
and on that
closure,
closure, on that note, on whatever it may be.
You can't say bombshell. That was taken by somebody else.
Yeah, that was taken by the BBC lawyers.
And Jeremy Clarkson when he punched somebody in the face.
Yeah, yes, I suppose. To the person who got punched in the face,
yes.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I feel like we're going to do that every time now. We're just going to say sorry for anything that might even slightly be offensive.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Two in the
bush.
Two in the bush.
Now, if you like what you heard, which
you probably didn't,
but
thank you for sticking with us.
Thank you for sticking with us for this whole time. And what can you do to help us? Well, you can go, if you're listening on a podcast provider, go and subscribe to us on that. If this gets onto YouTube, and like it and subscribe to us on there. Although it will be my personal channel which it goes on, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
And other than that,
on SoundCloud,
drive safe, I suppose.
Drive safe and don't give up.
And say sorry to everything.
Yes.
Goodbye.
And with that, goodbye. And sorry.
And sorry. Sorry.